make that money, make the dough fall. I'm gon' shake it up and make the snow fall. Work with me and we gon' have to both ball. I'm trying with the Rari like a go-kart. Go. Ain't no one can stop it, yeah, you know I'm going up. I feel like Giannis. Hold up, let's be honest. Need the Bucs and all the comments. Perfect timing when I'm shining. They be mad that I'm still grinding. When they switch and I'm still solid. Getting paper like it's college. Or like on a pilot. Shorty mad cause now I'm popping. Ain't no way that I can stop it. Spread my wings and now I'm flying. Hit the slide and now I'm gliding. They so shocked that I didn't find it. How they not know what the time is when I've been on my go talk. Rappers want my feature but they always tryna lowball. I done picked it up just like a phone call. Wonder why I'm hot, got a cold heart. And I'm on it go. Whoa. I go paint the picture like Mozart. I've been on my go talk. Lately how I'm coming, I got no flaws. They just wanna stop me but I won't pause. The flow like the go wall. I know that they wanted what I got, let them rock, yeah. I tell them go get it when it's hot, don't stop, yeah. I've been down 10 since the drop. I've been heating up, I'm getting hot, got a pot, yeah. I'm gon' be a millionaire, I've been going silly, yeah. Top won't be the ceiling for me, thought that I'ma see you there. Mad that I went got the bag, it's alright, I never care. I'm gon' get the last laugh, you gon' see me everywhere. They just mad to see that I could really be about it. All these rats and these racks, they see I be stylish. Started at the bottom, now the boy is on the rising. Haters going silent, ain't no one can stop it. I've been on my go talk. Rappers want my feature, but they always tryna lowball. I done picked it up just like a phone call. Wonder why I'm hot, got a cold heart. And I'm on it go. Whoa. I go paint the picture like Mozart. I've been on my go talk. Lately how I'm coming, I got no flaws. They just wanna stop me, but I won't pause. The flow like the go wall.
Wait, I just had my first pink. I ain't have a job in 2 years, it was way harder than you think. Never thought I'd be the one to make it happen, I thought I would just sing. Funny how things change, not a girl I really wanna link. Wait, everything 180, huh? Next stop a Mercedes, huh? Why my ego inflated? Cause old haters outdated. And to all the girls I dated, I'm really sorry I made it. And we can't even have a conversation anymore, my number's not the same. Damn, I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. And the V8 sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep going cool, they gon' pull my core. I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. And the V8 sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep going cool, they gon' pull my cord. And that's why I don't really got no friends. Circle same size since I don't know when. And I don't really know who want me to win, but that's the result of the city I'm in. I work like a slave, trying to get everyone paid. I want everything like Tim. What do I say? I just wanna pull up in the rain, make a car dash like Kim. Smile on her face, she can't wait till I get paid. I'ma take her far from her sins. Everything changed, it's a bigger picture in the frame. I ain't never looked back since. Said she want a steak, we already went to every place, so I had to take her out the crib. Incredible taste, but it won't last longer than a date. Because I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. And the V8 sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep going cool, they gon' pull my cord. I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. And the V8 sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep going cool, they gon' pull my cord.
So I came through the loving. No, I came through the loving. So they always switch sides, so I came through the loving. You know, to the dash now. Ayy.
So I started from nothing. I got money on my mind and I know that it's coming. I know people switch sides, so I can't do the loving. When you down, they won't ride, everybody just bluffing. Now they hitting on my line, cause they see I'm coming. And I'm finally doing fine, I've been counting these hundreds. And my baby gon' ride, she is not with the frontin'. So I put in overtime, but look what I'm becoming. You can look me in my eyes, don't believe all the judging. So I do this for my people, we the best, you know. I got lots of problems, lots of stress, you know. I'm just praying for the days, I'm counting decimals. I've been riding with my brothers, for the rest they hoes. I'm knowing I'ma make it, I just gotta be patient. Gotta come from nothing now, gotta make a statement. Bitches probably want me, but they can't even face it. Ay, no, they can't even face it. So my brothers better make it out the basement. If she for me, then you know there's no replacement. I be outside, she see that I'm dripping, little baby know that I'm fly. No love for my city, who thought I'd make it this high? I know that y'all fake and the real in disguise. I've been through the most, I'm holding all this pain inside. These bitches would dump me, now I don't really gotta try. I'm stuck in all my habits, but I gotta have it. Spend a couple bands on a jacket. All this money on me, I keep stacking. Why do y'all acting? Why do y'all capping? Can't really say much, but I'm back up on my bullshit. We don't got it from my buddies, they with the movement. Keep shit blunt, you cross it, someone get ruthless. I don't got time for no drama, that shit is useless. Got no time for no bullshit, no time for a bitch. If you keep it real, best believe I never switch on you. All the money in the world, I won't switch on you. I could get you all the pearls, diamond splits on you. If I got the whole world, I'd be missing you. I could drip you on our money and Da Vinci too. Got the labels always calling cause we making moves. I ain't stopping till I got it and I swear that shit true. So my brothers better make it out the basement. If she for me, then you know there's no replacement. I be outside, she see that I'm dripping, little baby know that I'm fly. No love for my city, who thought I'd make it this high? I know that y'all fake and the real in disguise. I've been through the most, I'm holding all this pain inside. These bitches would dump me, now I don't really gotta try. They gon' hate you when you down and I swear that shit true. They gon' hate you when you down and I swear that shit true. They gon' hate you when you down, but we still making moves. Yeah, yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this Halloween edition of, technically, I'm calling it Halloween, but it's not Halloween. It is actually the special edition, trade line deadline special. I said trade line. NFL trade deadline special for the Brian Mansell show today. As always, I am your host, Brian Mansell. I'm a sports media professional who's been in the industry now for a couple of years. And I got a podcast, whatever you want to call it. But today, specifically, this show is dedicated to the trade deadline. Now, here's why. The trade deadline is one of the most active times of the year. I have to reset the timer. Give me one sec. But while I'm resetting the timer, I'm going to tell you guys now that I have been absolutely fascinated by the way things have gone up to this point. Some players that were supposed to be dealt haven't been dealt yet. Now, this timer up here, just so you guys are aware, this tells you the exact time when the trade deadline ends. It's supposed to be ending in an hour, but because I forgot that I was doing a delay, I thought this would be starting and just running before I even cut into the scene here. Apparently, that is not the case, so I have to reset the timer to the correct time. So I'm going to take care of that real quick. I mean, right now, I'm looking at... Wait, no, not the output timer. Let's go to the scripts. We're going to drop this down to 80. We're going to drop it to 80, so we'll be right here. So that's where we're at. So this is going to be a little bit ahead of what it is by about 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds. But still, this is the correct time right here. The trade deadline ends at 4 o'clock Eastern. It is currently 2:40 on the East Coast at the moment. So once we hit 4 o'clock Eastern time, it ends. Jay Glazer, big news, Armando, ready. 49ers trade for Chase Young. Oh my gosh. You're joking. Oh my goodness. The 49ers did it. Okay. This is breaking news because that means both pass rushers from the Commanders are gone. First of all, welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you, Armand, for just dropping the bombshell on us right now. Thank you. I mean, I've got my Twitter up ready to go with my sources from my reporters. And I have my NFL team insiders list always ready to go. But, oh my goodness, did I not see that coming. It's going to be likely a mid-round pick in return in 2024. So now Montez Sweat to the Bears and Chase Young is now a San Francisco 49er. That is massively unexpected. I didn't think the 49ers going to be involved in that. That was a big need they needed, and they filled it. I think we're just going to also talk about this a bit, because there were a lot of deals that have already happened. I don't know how many more are going to continue to happen, but I know that there will be more. This isn't the last of what you've seen. There's going to be more. So let's start off with like the most important stuff, like right out the gate, right? Now this show again is dedicated to the trade deadline tracker. We'll be tracking all the trades as they happen. That is the big thing we're going to do here. If in case you guys don't know, since it's Halloween, I've dressed up. I am a referee, and if I throw on some black sunglasses, I am a blind one. So, you know, all I gotta do is one of these things, right? Like this, and, you know, throw a flag. Like that. Done. I'm a ref. I'm an NFL ref, guys. That's what I am today. So, that's the outfit we went with for this show. But let me tell you, we will throw a flag if we feel like there's... And from now on, we're going to use a flag. Every time there's a bad take, a flag's coming in. Every time a bad trade comes through, I'll throw a flag. Like, flag on the play. I got a whistle, you know. Perfect. Do one of those. Now, again, an hour and 17 minutes until the deadline hits. We've already got some action. It's going to get even crazier as we go. So, Chase Young was a rumored player. He's off the board. Let's go through what we've gone through already so you guys are aware of everything. And then while we're still talking about some football stuff, again, I'm open to questions the entire time. This whole show, I'm answering questions. So whatever questions you've got, doesn't matter where I am in a segment, just go ahead and throw it at me. And I will answer it immediately. This is a football dedicated show today, but I'm covering other topics. So everything you have, trade deadline, any rumors I've heard, again, I've got insiders all over the place for every team. I have it saved everywhere on Twitter. So if I know what happens, it's going to be directly from a reporter who works for the team. So just letting you guys know, I have the inside on everything. So whatever happens, I've got it. All right? So this is the place to be. So I'm also going to put out an update real quick on Twitter that we're live now for the trade deadline. I'll be covering the news as it breaks, right? As it breaks. As they happen on YouTube and Twitch. I don't know where you guys are watching from, but thank y'all for tuning in to this show specifically. I really appreciate it. You could have went with anybody else, and you went with us today, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much. Now, currently, I'm going to look over the notifications as well, see if there's anything else I've been notified of in the meantime, any other rumors that have come up. But this is we have a compensation update. The Commanders traded Chase Young for a third-round pick next year. That is a massive, massive steal. Oh, my goodness. So they got rid of their two best pass rushers for a second and third-round pick in 2024. I'm not even going to address that. That's kind of wild to even think about. You gave everything up for that? For that? Are you kidding me? We might have something else here, though. Now, I do have a guy who I'm hoping to get on here soon. And I can't guarantee he's going to be here. He's not going to be here today, but I do have some stuff going on to try to get this guy on soon. An NFL insider who you may know on Twitter, known for breaking a lot of rumors. ML Football, I'm currently in talks with him to try to get him on the show. I'm going to see if I can get him on sometime next week. Hopefully on a day where I'm working a morning. So I'm going to try to aim for like a Wednesday probably next week. If he's able to do it, we're going to do a show on Wednesday next week in the morning, and we'll do it that way. I'll have an interview with him. We'll have conversations, and that's it. And, build this thing up more and get more attention. We really want to do everything it takes to make this a really good show and give you guys the best that you need. But yeah, Chase Young is a San Francisco 49er in exchange for a third-round pick next year. Yep, Armand even got a point there. That second-round pick that the Bears gave up for Montez Sweat would be pick number 37 if the season ended today. So it's basically a late first. Honestly. If it's anything in the top 40, I consider it a late first. But you know what? Regardless, it's a phenomenal pick that they were able to land there. Now, let me see if there's anything else going on here. Let's go back to the NFL Team Insider, see if I get anything else from the reporters right now. I'll tell you guys whatever I see. Keep an eye out for the Jets possibly moving Carl Lawson. That's my next one I'm going to give you a heads up on. Carl Lawson. Watch that name. He could be moved. That's not a joke. Keep an eye on that. Let's go through some of the rumored players. I got players that I have confirmed that will not be moving. I've got guys that are rumored like crazy to be moving that will probably be moved more than likely at some point. If they don't, it's because they didn't get a good offer in time. Now, most of the team players that aren't going to be moved, you probably know who they are. But there are a few that maybe you guys weren't aware of, so I'm going to try to make sure I cover that as well. Let's go back to the notification just to make sure there's nothing else. Because I got notifications on for everything, and I want to make sure I'm not going absolutely wild and with the wrong information. So I'm going back to Team Insiders. There we go. All right, update with the trade involving Leonard Williams and the Giants. In order to make room for him on the roster, the Seahawks had to waive Cody Thompson to create the room, and they ended up bringing back their safety, Jonathan Sutherland, from the practice squad. They brought him back to the practice squad. But what a trade that is. Again, we'll go through some stuff. Again, this has just been wild. Yes, Armand got another one right there. There's a report that the Steelers are trading for Bears corner Jalen Johnson by the 4 p.m. deadline. That I've definitely heard. The Steelers have been in active talks to try to get him. I don't know if they pull it off, though. The price for Johnson, from what I've heard, has been very steep. So because it is a steep price, it may not be exactly what people are looking for. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tight fit. But from what I heard, that's the intention, is that they're going to have Jalen Johnson get to Pittsburgh somehow. I can't guarantee you it's going to happen, though, by 4 p.m. I can't guarantee it. It's a lot. They're working overtime. They're trying to make this thing happen. Let's see what else we got. At the moment, I got no other major information at this time. But I'll give you this from what we'll go over some of the current trades that have happened. We'll use ESPN for the full tracking of that. And we also did have another trade that wasn't NFL that we will talk about in the NBA, which again was James Harden. This is what I talked about last night. Sent it out on Instagram at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was sitting on the trade and I saw it come up. I'm like, okay, so now we have to talk about it. Unfortunately, due to the ecstatic work schedule, I couldn't even get on stream in time for today. I probably didn't get in my bed last night from work until about 4 o'clock in the morning, so I was unable to get on at 11, physically incapable of doing so. We'll be doing more work because now I've got a few days off here. We're going to make the most of it and try to do a show tomorrow morning, do some more content, make some stuff to make it really worth it, That's the intention. I'm also currently feeling under the weather. That is because of the weather changes again here in the Northeast. It's gotten super cold already. We're already in the 40s, and, you guys can hear it. I'm stuffed. I'm stuffed like a maniac. But also, we're going to do a quick review about the World Series Game 4 as well. And then after the trade deadline ends, we'll do winners and losers of the trade deadline. Now, again, you guys are free to suggest whatever players you think could be moved and any questions about what teams they go to, anything you were hoping could happen. Throw them in the chat. I'll answer them as best as I can. At any time we can, I'll answer them. And I do have a clip that I have saved that I'm going to try to use here. I want to find ways to kind of use clips and just air them whenever I can. So let's see if I can do that. Let me see if I can find something. But in the meantime, we will continue with, I continue to work to try and get the clips going. Just something to think about here. There's just a lot I'm doing at the moment. So, my brain's in 1,000 places. Just give me 1 second, everybody. I'm sorry. My brain's in 1,000 spots at the same time. Okay, there we go. Trade tracker. Found it. In time. So let's go from yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about, it started off with the Leonard Williams to the Seahawks rumor. Now, this is what we've heard since yesterday, since the Leonard Williams talk. Okay, we weren't on yesterday when the Leonard Williams trade happened. It happened 15 minutes after we ended stream. So this is what I'm going to update you guys on for everything since yesterday. The Giants traded Leonard Williams to Seattle, and in exchange, they got a 2024 second-round pick and a 2025 fifth-round pick, in the expectation that the Giants are going to take on all or most of the $10 million owed to Williams. Another update for an unlikely trade candidate. It's been rumored a lot. Derrick Henry. It's unlikely he will be traded. Doesn't mean he will not be traded, but it's unlikely. And also, the Eagles had traded defensive lineman Contavious Street and a 2025 seventh to the Falcons in exchange for a 24 sixth. Now, this is all because of Atlanta having issues involving Grady Jarrett, who had suffered a torn ACL and they needed a replacement, and that was Street. Street is the replacement. Now, we have Bears cornerback Jalen Johnson. The reason why we're in this situation right now, where people have felt it wasn't going to happen, they didn't feel it was going to happen, and then he requested the trade. Now they're rushing like crazy to get it done, to get him out of there and give him what he wants by 4 p.m. today. So Pittsburgh has been the most active team, like Armand said. Also, Armand said, Diana Rossini tweeted that she was told Washington ownership had a strong hand in deciding to deal both Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Many in the building wanted to keep them because they believed in the team. But in the end, it's about the future for the Commanders. So the owners ultimately decided to move on. Okay, that's normal. There are times where fans do that. I mean, where owners do that, and you can't be mad at them. These things happen. It's their team. It's what they decide. I mean, as a fan, you could be mad, but if you go from like a business perspective, ownership perspective, this is what they do. This is how they think. So you can't really knock them for for that decision. Update with Giants. Contracts can't be reworked to this point, which makes any veteran with significant salary unlikely to be traded. One of those people that falls in that category is Adoree Jackson. So it's looking unlikely he is going to be traded now at this point. He's due more than $6 million the rest of the season, has been banged up recently. Now it's unlikely he's going to be moved at this point. And this comes from Jordan Rannon, the ESPN insider for the Giants. So Adoree Jackson, unlikely to be moved for the New York Giants. And Jerry Jones has talked about what he's going to do. What is the plan with the Cowboys at this deadline? He said, I see us right now having a pat hand. And that basically means that he's not going to make a move. The Cowboys are likely not going to make a move. Now, initially, the first two teams that called and were interested in Jalen Johnson were the 49ers and Bills. As you can see now, that's kind of shifted. Now, the biggest trade of the day that we've seen to open it up was Montez Sweat. The Bears made a trade for him, gave up a 2024 second-round pick. And Sweat is in the last year of his contract, so the Bears are just going to roll with him this year, see what he can do for them, see if they can bring him back. And the Commanders decided to opt for a draft pick now, and then instead of a compensatory pick, they might get if Sweat were to sign elsewhere. Which, again, smart move. Now, other players I didn't mention. This is another one I forgot to mention. Rumored players. I got to add him to the list here. Patriots are looking to move Josh Uche. Been getting a lot of offers from them. They're open to doing it. Jeremy Fowler from ESPN also said that Danielle Hunter is more than likely not getting moved by the Vikings. So Danielle Hunter, don't even think about it. That one is now out the window. Same goes for T. Higgins. He's gotten trade interest, but they're not expected to move him. The other major deals today, Josh Dobbs. The reason why he was inactive for this coming week and why Clayton Tune will likely start, because Dobbs just got traded. He goes to the Vikings to take over Kirk Cousins' job. He went over with a conditional 7th rounder in 2024 to the Vikings for a 2024 6th. Low risk, low investment. I mean, this could be big for Minnesota, and it could be and it's nothing for the Cardinals at this point. And the condition is I think it was something about a snap count with Dobbs. If Dobbs plays a certain percentage of the snaps, it turns into a 6th-round pick. And the Vikings are also making another trade. They sent Ezra Cleveland, their guard, to the Jaguars for a 6th-round pick. So now, Doug Peterson and the Jaguars get huge offensive line help for Trevor Lawrence, which is a big deal. Trevor Lawrence needs offensive line protection. That's been a big problem the last couple of years. He finally gets that now with Ezra Cleveland. Great interior help they needed. Love the trade. Love it, love it, love it. Let's go back and take some deeper looks and see if there's anything else that has happened. And as of right now, Vikings have officially placed Mr. Kirk Cousins on IR, which will end his season officially. More updates. I'm going to add this in for Armand. I don't know if you saw this yet. I have it right now about Jalen Johnson. Just got the update. You mentioned the Steelers were involved. They're working on a deal, but another team has gotten involved. It is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are involved right now. The market is heating up for Johnson quickly. The understanding from right now is that the deal is going to get done. The question is just now which team does he go to? Is it going to be Philly? Is it going to be the Steelers? Is it going to be a team we don't see coming that come out of the left field? Well, Schefter says, let's see what Schefter says. The plan is, okay, no, it's something different. Just despite the fact that Josh Dobbs was traded to the Vikings today, Jaron Hall, the rookie from BYU, the 5th-round pick, will start against the Falcons. So no matter what, they don't feel they can get Dobbs up to speed in time, so that will mean you're going to have Hall start. That's interesting. Now, I do have a lot of other things we can go over here. You did make a good point, though, Armand. I'm going to agree with you on this. Trading Sweat and Young means Rivera's going to be fired. I feel like this is his last year regardless. Bieniemy will likely be the new head coach because they really like him a lot in ownership. So we'll see. I think he's run past his prime. He did great in Carolina. Can't do anything here. So that's what happened. Per Albert Breer, the Niners again, the 2024 third-round comp pick for the Titans hiring of ex-San Fran exec Ran Carthon. So you could look at this as Carthon for Young. Wow, that's actually... Yeah, you could. That's interesting. Wow. That's not... Wow, I'm a little shocked by that. That took me a little bit out of left field. But yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. I didn't even think of it like that. That's so weird. It's so weird. Let's go through some other names that we have here. Let me go through what I've got. I'm reading through every single NFL team insider I'm getting at the moment and whatever information I can pull. Let's see. Anything else? We have an update about what they're going to do. With the Cardinals trading Josh Dobbs, they have to add a third QB to the team. The answer has been given as of 20 minutes ago. Jeff Driscoll's coming back to the Cardinals. He will be on the practice squad to start. So there's the Arizona Cardinals replacement. Jeff Driscoll back to the Cardinals as a practice squad quarterback. That's what will happen. Now in terms of regular... Now here's another one. This is a big name. This is the most marketable name right now involving the Bears. Armand, you probably haven't heard this yet, but I'm going to feed it through you right now. Darnell Mooney has been the biggest name heating up outside of Jalen Johnson. 2 Bears have been the hottest names at the moment. It appears the market for the Bears standout receiver Mooney is heating up. The teams that have been mentioned, 5 teams specifically, have been looking at Mooney. The Chargers, the Ravens, the Jaguars, the Browns, and the Steelers. He's expected to go to one of these 5 if a trade is to go down. No guarantee, but it's something that has been speculated. One of those 5 teams will get Darnell Mooney if it happens. Now, the Jaguars made a response with the addition of Ezra Cleveland. They have waived Ben Bartch through that trade. So now Ben Bartch is no longer a member of the Jaguars. He is waived. Anybody can pick him up off waivers before he's officially released. So that'll be interesting. But here are some of the rumored players that I've heard, more specifically. Right now, first player that's come up that I've heard rumors of, Justin Simmons, the safety from the Broncos, has been rumored to be a possible trade target. I don't know how true that is after the big win they had against Kansas City. You know, they could have a moment of delusion and think, oh my gosh, we're actually a decent team, we could do this, and go ahead and make a deal. But I don't know. Jacoby Brissett's another name I've heard heat up, a backup quarterback that's getting interest out there. Armand, I'll tell you about CJ in a second. I'll give you a better name to trust than CJ, who shut down all of his statements, because I used to trust him too, but I don't like it. I'll explain to you why I don't like CJ anymore. Jacoby Brissett, with him, there's speculation he could go back to the Commanders. There's speculation he could go back to the Browns. The biggest story has been him possibly going back to the Browns. That's the truth with Jacoby Brissett. That's what I've heard. Brissett, there's an opening for him to go over to the Browns to back up Deshaun Watson and possibly, go back to what it was last year, get him back in action, trust him to do some work as well, and get them up to speed. That's something that has been a real talk. Derek Barnett, heard some speculation yesterday. He is somebody that's on the edge market. People are looking at defensive end market. He's not really doing much with Philly. He hasn't been for a while. Maybe change of scenery would really help him out, but that is another name I've heard. Josh Jacobs, his name is heated up because the Ravens have explored the possibility of trading for him. The asking price is steep, so it's on the unlikely side as we hit the 1 hour mark right over here until the deadline officially hits. We have hit the 1 hour mark. We are 1 hour away from the end of the deadline, so this is where everything heats up. As Scott Hansen would say, it's the witching hour. Josh Jacobs to the Ravens is a possibility. No guarantee there, but it is a real possibility. Jalen Johnson, we've already spoken about him. Jahan Dotson has gained interest from the Commanders. That's the Commanders receiver. There's a possibility he could be moved as well. Keep an eye on that. Can't guarantee anything else outside of that. Ezekiel Elliott has gained interest from the Patriots. The Patriots running back, he's getting some interest from a couple of the teams looking for some running back help, goal line situations like a third down back. They're looking at him right now. It's a real thing. I don't know if it does happen, but it has been speculated and has been rumored around that he is a player to watch. Darnell Mooney we just spoke about, and Josh Uche, who I heard something around Miami possibly looking at him. I don't know. Now, here are some players not moving that I can confirm to you right now. Cam Curl is not being moved from Washington. That is for sure. Cameron Curl is not moving from Washington. That is confirmed from me. You heard it here first. DeAndre Hopkins, not being moved. He will not be moved by Tennessee. He is off the table. Same goes for Devontae Adams. So just ignore those 2 wide receivers. They will not get moved today. Danielle Hunter They just said it now, not getting moved by the Vikings. Same goes for Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks will not be moved by the Vikings either. So the linebacker and the defensive end will not be moving. Well, now they moved into linebacker, but both of them will not be moved at all. And the other name, Derrick Henry, I told you guys, it's not that he won't be traded, it's that it's unlikely. And I'm saying unlikely because the best deal they had was with the Ravens, and it fell through. I don't remember what the story was. Supposedly, it was the ownership vetoed it. Well, we got another trade. Thank you, Armand. The Browns have traded Donovan Peoples-Jones to the Lions. That's another one I didn't see coming. Let's check it out on X. See the full story. Yup. It was announced by Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes, the GM for the Lions, announced they just traded with the Browns for Donovan Peoples-Jones. He said it. He went up to the podium and said it. That's insane. Insane, actually. Okay. This is actually really good. This is really good for him. And I'm going to explain to you guys why. I like Donovan Peoples-Jones because I think he is a receiver that could really benefit in a system where he's more like the 2 option. He shows a lot of upside, a lot of good things there. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of DPJ. I think the Browns, being in the state they are, a lot of uncertainty with the receiving room they have, he would benefit in a scenery where he would get more attention. I feel like he would get that in Detroit. It would make so much sense. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, and then right after that, you've got DPJ. I mean, you could put him anywhere. You can make him switch out with JMO. There's options. Or with Reynolds. Doesn't matter. The guy's a speedster. He's got good hands, everything. I like him. So good pickup for them. We just got to see what the compensation is. The compensation is the Lions are sending a 2025 6th-round pick to Cleveland. So the Lions are sending a 2025 6 to Cleveland in return for Donovan Peoples-Jones, the receiver from the Cleveland Browns. Big, big trade. Thank you so much, Armand, for getting me on that. I appreciate that. Again, 56 minutes to go until we hit that deadline. So that's what I've heard so far. That's all the updates that we have at the moment. It's going to continue to trickle down and keep going. So as we talk about some other stuff, I will be keeping an eye on everything else. And I mean, as long as I'm going to keep an eye on NFL as much as I can. I've got Armand here who's, all over the place with the news. Thank you so much, man. I am going to address the CJ Golson thing, though. I want to do that real quick. So, dating back to last year, I've been following CJ Golson. I thought he had some couple really good hits on some news. I mean, a month in advance of other people. And this year, it has been a little bit of a different story. So, I'll show you a tweet, an example of what I mean. When I talk about inside sources, I just follow the right people. I got enough conversations there, and I'll explain to you guys what it is with him. Now, again, I don't have any animosity or hate towards CJ Golson. I think CJ's a great guy. I've followed him for a long time, but it's kind of like the Dov Kleiman situation. But, I mean, you talked about the thing about him getting an opportunity sooner than later. He's talking about all these things with the Saints, and you know what? He always does this. He always picks one team and goes nuts on them. He did the Patriots last year. I think he was all over he's all big on the Saints right now. So I will give you whatever I've got right here as we go to the highlight screen. This is the highlight window. We show everything going on. I should have made a Halloween theme, but I didn't. Sorry, everybody. So I will show you guys what I know right now involving this situation, and I'll show you what CJ Golson really is. This is CJ Golson, everybody. CJ is an international insider, he says. The People's Insider, Golson Gang. 7,200 followers from Cuba. Now, nothing against that at all. He called last year the Jonnu Smith move, and that was the big thing that wasn't talked about. And this is what you were talking about. You were talking about, in a shocking last-minute twist, the Saints are electing to keep Winston, turning down the Vikings' offer of a conditional third at the deadline, who then opted for Cardinals Dobbs. I'm told the QB met with Dennis Allen all morning and left believing he still could be for starting with New Orleans this season. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly what I know. So when this first happened, I'll explain it the best to you. All this stuff was going on. Now, was from yesterday. This is it. The Vikings and Saints involving Jameis Winston. That was what he was saying yesterday. Now, they brought in the number one guy that you don't ever want to bring into because he will get you quicker than later. If you guys don't know Nick Underhill's like the top guy to follow for New Orleans Saints news. I follow him for everything. He's one of my insiders I follow. And this is where he went after him and pretty much exposed him big time. And I'll show you an example right here. So, let's see. Right here. They say Nick O'Neill's this legit. Name's under Crack Rock. Yeah. I'll show you guys an example. So, he goes after CJ clearly. So, right here. In a shock last minute twist, the New Orleans Saints are elected to keep Jameis Winston. Never happened. This man's in the media rooms all the time, has connections and sources inside the New Orleans locker rooms. There is no chance. If he says it never happened, it never happened. Sorry, CJ. It's the truth. So, they're saying it never happened. On top of that, he said the Vikings don't even have a third-round pick. So because of that, it's not even true. And it just makes no sense. So this is what I mean. CJ has had this bad habit lately of getting exposed pretty bad. And it hasn't been fun. And you guys can already see everything else here I have saved. And yeah, so it's just not... You got to be careful with who you pick and who you listen to. You do follow Nick. Okay. All right, I'm on. Yeah, I'm just giving you the heads up. It depends on the insider you follow. Each insider is different. I used to really trust CJ with a lot, and lately it hasn't been good. It's been rough trying to follow him and get the information. It's been tough. So, Nick coming out there and just proving that he had bad info. Really bad info. So, I can't really trust CJ. I just can't physically. But, again, you all said, according to Tankathon website, the pick going to Washington for Young would be pick 87. Again, Washington stockpiling the picks. That's great. They need to rebuild something. They got new ownership. They want to build something that feels like their own, not something left behind by Dan Snyder. So, I think it makes total sense that they want to do this. And to everybody who's watching this right now, thank you guys for tuning in with us. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of great work we do here. And, everything about it is just, why did we go back to 119? Let me check that out. Why is it saying hour and 19 minutes? Give me 1 second, everybody. I apologize for this issue. I'm going to adjust the scripts on this. I'm going to drop it down again. Go down to, let's see if I can drop the time down. We're going to set it to the 3:08 time, which is how much is typically left. We're going to be right around here. Good. And that's it. So we're at 51 minutes. We have 51 minutes to go. I'm sorry about that again. The timer's acting up. All right. So according to Tankathon, the website would be pick 87. Yeah. So, but this is the thing Washington should have done. They should have understood that their window's closing. They're not really going to do much this year, and that was expected. They were going to be a team that was a little scrappy, but not a playoff team. I thought they were going to be about like a 6-11, 7-10 team. I think it was like a 5-12 that was my prediction, which was, really lowballing on Sam Howell, but he's been better than I expected. He's been better. Again, for those, depending on where you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching us on Twitch, we are 4 followers away from hitting our follow goal of 20 followers. If you guys like what you see and want to come back for some more episodes, feel free to follow us. We don't do subscriptions. We feel like we shouldn't have to take your money in order for you guys to have access to this kind of content. So please consider giving us a follow. It goes a long way in helping the channel grow. If you're seeing this on YouTube, please consider subscribing. Helps us grow the channel on YouTube as well, and helps us do more content down the line. So again, if you guys could do those 2 things, it'd be so helpful for us. So thank you guys so much. In the meantime, while we wait for the next news to pop in, we are going to worry about something else. We're going to talk about some of the other news that's going on and other things in sports. So let's go back to the NFL Team Insiders, make sure there's nothing else coming on. I'll tell you guys if there's anything else I've reported here that I can give you guys a hint on. I've got nothing. So we're good. Okay. Now, let's talk. Let's see. Let's talk. Let's start with the World Series. Game 4 was yesterday, right? Game 3 was yesterday. And we talked about it a bit, about what could work, what won't work, and it just led to a few problems, We talked about the pitching matchup very thoroughly, about who was going to be the better pitcher yesterday. Was it going to be, was Fod finally going to hit a wall and come back down to earth, or was Max Scherzer going to, have his same old story of not being a dominant pitcher this year? Well, we found that out pretty quickly yesterday, and I will pull that up for you guys as we pull up the highlight screen. Let's pull that up. Yep, here we are. Rangers Dbacks. Right here. You guys are seeing it live right now. And this is where we're at with this. So I'll show you guys whatever I've got here. So as you guys can see yesterday, it was a quick flashback they were showing of everything that happened in Game 7. They're in Arizona for Game 3. They showed their flashbacks. Fod made his debut on May 3rd against the Rangers, which we talked about yesterday. His pitching has been so much better and different since then. As we see the first at bat here against Simeon. Simeon puts this one up in the air, and it is taken out in right field by Corbin Carroll. Comes in, makes the play, quick out. And now Garcia comes up to the plate. He hits this one out to deep right center. Play made by Alek Thomas. They got 2 outs here, or they get out of it. And now we go to the bottom of the first. Scherzer on the mound. He's been always career dominant against the D-backs. Here's the pitch to Carroll here. Puts it on the ground. Shortstop makes a great play. Over. There's the first out. Now comes Ketel Marte to the plate. Pitch on the way. It's an inside pitch. Ends up being a walk. Now, one question was about the umping yesterday. I've talked about this before. Umping should not determine. You should not complain about umps. No matter how good or bad they are, how indecisive their calls can be at times, it does not mean that you have to justify winning or losing because of it. I don't think if you wanted to win or lose, you would have had to, actually show proof that you deserve to lose. Like, you should have done more to win the game. You shouldn't have to complain about the umpires in winning or losing a game. If you would have played better in certain aspects, you wouldn't be complaining about the umping. That's it. Now, Fod gets a little grounder here back to the mound, gets a quick double play, problem solved. Fod looking good, man, and this last one by Heim is popped out to shallow center, and plays made. Bottom of the second now. And now up to the plate is Christian Walker hitting this one deep, going off the wall, gets stuck under the wall, and Walker's going to safely get to second. So he's got a double to start out here. And now this brings up Tommy Pham, who's been one of the hottest hitters in the postseason, as he takes this one and puts this one right into the gap into right. And Adolis Garcia is going to throw as they wave Walker coming around, and that was the dumbest play they could have made because he gets tagged out pretty quickly. He should have been held up, honestly. And this is on the base coach. The base coach told him to stop and then changed his mind and gave him a half go, which I did not agree with. So Alek Thomas is here. He grounds it off of Scherzer's back, and they get the out. It bounced off of Scherzer's back, quite literally, that hit. So now you go to the top of the third, and keep an eye on that. Remember about that back hit. As this pitch to Lau is sent out to center, sliding play made, but he's going to get into second with a double. Stretch it out there. Now Simeon's back up to bat. Pitch to Simeon. He sends this one into left center. Play is going to get by the left fielder, and that scores Lau. It's 1-0 Texas here. They have a quick conversation with Fod to get him back in the game. Seager takes this next pitch, sends it going deep, out to right. It's a 3-0 lead for the Texas Rangers. 421, 114.5 off the bat. And now Scherzer comes in. Remember what I told you guys about Scherzer coming to the bottom of the fourth? Remember that pitch he took in the second? The one that bounced off his back? He left after the third inning with back tightness. He pitched one more inning, but after that, his back was bothering him right there. That shot went right off from right there. Right off his right hip. And that was not good for him. He comes out of the game, can't pitch. So in comes John Gray to have to come in relief. And then Tommy Pham sends this one deep, and it's fielded for a quick out. John Gray gets out of it. Top of the sixth now. Fod still up to pitch here, keeping him in the game. Outside of that one inning he had that was a little rough, he was still great in the other ones. Seager gets this one out, sends this to left center. Play is made out by Alek Thomas. They're doing fine. Again, Fod, this is what they call the bullpen. He's been great up to this point. Miguel Castro gets the final out of the sixth and able to get out of that one. And now back to the mound comes Gray again. And he gets a strikeout here on Perdomo swinging. And that's 2 strikeouts at this point for him. And now Corbin Carroll comes to the plate. He swings and misses on another pitch. A big fastball. That's another strikeout for John Gray. Absolutely dominant in relief, filling in for Scherzer. And this hit from Marte. Marte's up next here. He swings, pops this one right off the glove of Simeon, who's looking at it like, is my glove defective? Is there a hole in it? Because he thought he had it. Because that just pops right in and out, questioning his integrity of the glove. Gabriel Moreno gets a hold of this one, tries to send it, tries to go yard, but this one ends up coming more shallow. Garcia makes the play, and they go to the end of the sixth, going into the seventh, still holding on to a 3-0 lead, Texas. And now into the game in replacement for Gray. They go back to the bullpen. And in comes in Spores. And Pham takes this one on the second pitch of the at-bat, sends it out there into right. That's going to turn into a double. Tavares couldn't make the play, gets him there with the double. And Gurriel swings at a pitch that was in the dirt, because I don't know why. But Pham is still on second. Snakes alive. It's what they're all holding. 2 outs there. And it's a swing and a miss for Alek Thomas as they go to the top of the eighth here. 2 outs here. Garcia sends this one up in the air. Frias at the mound. Plays made out in center by Thomas. They get out of it. Quickly done. Bottom of the 8th now. You see Adolis Garcia on that swing in the previous inning. I mean, he was really feeling it in his hip. He had some left tightness. And now Aroldis Chapman, who is known for choking in the playoffs on multiple occasions, is in. Emmanuel Rivera is also in and up to bat. So Rivera swings and sends this one deep to right. Hugs the corner, and that's in for a hit, and that's going to stay fair. He's going to get into second pretty easily with no problems. So they got a man on second. Perdomo at the plate hits this one. This one's going to hug down, goes in shallow into left. That's going to send Rivera home. It's the 3-1 ball game. 2 runs away from tying this game up. Can the answer backs respond? Can they tie this game up? Well, Chapman sends this one to Carroll, and this one's right down the mound. He takes it for strike 3. Right down the plate, right down the pipe, and he really should have swung, and he didn't take it. So Chapman gets him here, and up to bat now is Marte, who has a great hitting streak going. He sends this one to the shortstop, makes the play to second, sends it to first, and gets the double play. And so they get out of the 8th inning, 6 outs away from this game ending and having Texas go up 2-1 in this series. Freddie's still on the mound. Garver swings at this one, pops it up deep out to center. And the play at the wall is made by Thomas. What a great play. And Moreno takes that looked to be a walk. This is the play people were talking about. This pitch here. Right there, off the plate. Well off the plate. And they call a strike on it. It was supposed to be a walk. Would have put a man on, the tying run on base. It would have had the tying run at the plate. It just was so many questions. And then this turns into a simple ground out for Moreno. So instead of getting a walk that would have gotten him on base, he's now the first out. Now Walker swings and misses and strikes out on the next at bat. It's 2 outs now. Here comes Tommy Pham up to bat. The last second chance for the D-backs here is in Tommy Pham. He swings and misses. Leclerc gets the save. The Rangers win Game 3 and go up 2-1 here in the series. And that's that. That is what happened. Sorry about that. Wrong screen. And that's what happened. I don't have anything else to say. Interesting game yesterday. Fod didn't pitch that bad. It was bound to happen that he was going to have an event happen, and it did. And unfortunately, it had to happen at some point. The good news was he was so dominant outside of that. I don't really have anything else to complain about with him. He really did well. Okay, we're going to be at the 41 mark now, around for the trade deadline. So again, going into Game 4 today, what has got to be different for them? Well, this window's open, so the timer's going to be on point here. So let's keep talking about this a little bit more. So today we have Game 4, right? Game 4 is today now for the Dbacks and Rangers. A lot of questions here about, the pitching and the batting matchup. Again, D-backs are looking to tie the series up again. It's going to be a bullpen game. It looks to be for both sides. Mansell is going to start out for Arizona today in Game 4. For Texas, it's going to be Andrew Heaney leading the way. He hasn't been great this postseason, not going to lie to you guys. 6 innings pitched. He's got a 6 ERA, 7 hits, 1 strikeout, and 2 walks. It's not too good for Heaney. And knowing this squad, they're a scrappy, contact-hitting squad, and you never know what Dimebacks could do. The answer backs could do a lot of damage. Now, Mansell against these guys, since he's the starting guy, he's probably going to pitch about an inning or 2. I don't see him going more than 2 innings. Pitching against these guys, he's faced Seager the most. He's done pretty well against everybody. The only guys who have hit against him really are Simeon, Seager, Jankowski, and Grossman. Nobody else has registered hit against them yet. As for Mr. Andrew Heaney, who we talked about, the former Yankee, and Angel, and many other things. Andrew Heaney, against his career against these guys, Carroll has gotten a hit against him. Gurriel in his career, 2 of 6 against him. Same goes for Marte, 2 of 6. Pham is 1 of 8, and Christian Walker's 2 of 3 against him. Thomas, Rivera have not registered a hit, neither is Longoria, and that's it. None of those guys I just mentioned, those last 3, have registered a hit against Heaney in their career. So, anything could happen tonight. It's a bullpen game. If I'm being honest with you guys, I really don't know how this will go. There's injuries to Scherzer and Garcia. I'm sure Garcia's going to try to play tonight. I mean, I'm sure you just put on an icy hot patch and he'll figure it out. But, I mean, there's still so many questions about the Rangers and D-backs' abilities to, how this thing goes. There's a lot of questions involving that. That's one thing I will say. I think that Texas will probably lose this one. It'll be something stupid where it's the Arizona Diamondbacks playing comeback again, and this time, since it's only a run or two-run difference, they'll be able to take a lead and hold on to it and close it out with Seawald getting his redemption for blowing Game 1. He gets his redemption by sealing the win in Game 4. And that ties the series at 2. They go to Game 5, still in Arizona tomorrow. I'm thinking they got to even the series. You can't go down 3-1 here. Yeah, I don't think they can afford to go down 3-1. They really need to tie it tonight. And a lot of pressure's on them to win this. And Armand's a great point. If Garcia's out for Texas, that's a blow for the lineup and offense. Absolutely, yeah. Garcia's been the best bat. 100%. Cousin Squid Games on Twitch. Thank you, man, for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm praying for the Lions to trade for Max Crosby. I know, man, I would love to see Max Crosby in a Lions uniform, but you know how it goes, man. Max Crosby is their best player. It would take a massive haul for them to get him to Detroit. But listen, hey, anything's possible, you know? We've seen some blockbuster trades happen in the past that nobody saw coming. Who knows? Anything could happen these days, you know? But from what I've heard rumor-wise, I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be interesting if it did. Armand, per Tim Kawakami, NFL source, 49ers are closing another trade. I don't know who it's for, but it seems likely they've got one more. So one more trade is going down. Let's see what else we have to talk about before we go back right into football here. Winners and losers of the deadline and Harden's trade to the Clippers. We definitely need to talk about the Harden trade. That was something. That was something yesterday. I can't even explain to you guys how I felt seeing that news. Let's see anything else we got so far today. So, Ari Mayrov with the quick feed through on what's happened today. Giants traded Leonard Williams to Seahawks yesterday for a second and a fifth. Commanders traded Montez Sweat to the Bears for a second. Commanders traded Chase Young to the 49ers for a third. The Vikings traded Ezra Cleveland to the Jaguars for a sixth, so the Jaguars get a new starting guard. The Cardinals traded their quarterback Josh Dobbs, who started their last 8 games for them. He goes to the Vikings for a 6th-round pick, conditional. And the Browns have now traded Donovan Peoples-Jones to the Lions for a 6th. This has just been a little nuts. But I think by far the craziest deal is Chase Young. Only those picks is kind of crazy. Literally getting a 3rd-round pick is a steal. And you're right. You're right, Armand. My source just confirmed it too. Apparently the Niners are not done. It appears they've got one more move on the way, trying to take advantage of the cheap QB years they have with Brock Purdy. We're going to see what it is. Is it going to be defensive or will it be offensive? That is the question. Could it be an offensive player, and who would it be? I will tell you guys whatever else I know right now. Apparently the Lions, another piece of Lions news. Long snapper Scotty Daly needs surgery, so Lions are going to need a new long snapper. J.A. Campbell says he thinks James Houston should be able to return this season, so that's a big deal. Let's see what else. Supposedly, got an update. The Bills are reportedly a team discussing a trade for Bears' Jalen Johnson. The Bills are talking to get Jalen Johnson right now. Supposedly, the Buccaneers might be interested in claiming Ben Barst, who was put on waivers to make room for the Ezra Cleveland trade. So Barsh is now going on waivers. The Bucs may make a play for him. Now, we talked about earlier today also, the Colts signed Jack Anderson, the guard, to their 53-man roster. And it's now official as they took Ike Botiger and released him to make room for Anderson. Now, supposedly, keep an eye out on Seattle. There might be another move coming as they're going to look for edge depth as well. Now, as for Commanders, I can confirm this now. We were talking earlier about the possibility of Jahan Dotson getting moved, right? And anybody else on that Commanders team, I can confirm it now thanks to a source, John Kine, ESPN's Commanders reporter. He has stated, and I quote, as of 5 minutes ago, Washington is done with trades. They are done trading. They are done for the day. So do not expect the Commanders to make any more moves. Done. Commanders are finished. That's what I heard, Armand. They're done. And Armand has also now confirmed the Raiders won't make any trades today. Armand, where did you hear that one? What was that from? Was that from Vinny? What was it? I think Bonsignore? I think he's the one that said, that's usually their guy. Or is that Pasquantino? I can't remember which one it was. Cousin Squid Game says, yeah, I know. I'm just hoping for some defensive star to pair with Hutchinson. Yeah, man, look, I don't blame you. Well, you heard what I said about James Houston, so that could be really positive for you guys. Great player he is. I mean, again, this is a wild day. Anything could happen. If I could be honest, if you guys really want to get some defensive end help right now, you could look in the linebacker group and go try and get the guy from the Patriots, Josh Uche. He's only 25 years old. Got a lot of upside to him. Could be really helpful for your defense. That's a guy you could look at. But hey, y'all got a wide receiver. That's cool. Oh, that's your opinion. Okay. I was going to say, I thought you got that from a source. I was going to say, oh, wow. Okay. Because I was going to say, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they were done for the day because Mark Davis isn't a risk taker like that. And when he does take risks, he acts like he knows football from like 40 years ago and makes bad moves. Because he's not in touch with the game anymore. But from what I'm seeing at the moment, I don't have any other updates to give you guys at the moment. My insiders have gone cold as we are at currently just over 30 minutes left. Update, though, I will give you on what's going on with the Ravens. According to Josina Anderson, the Ravens are not out yet. They're still trying to make moves and get somebody in. Now, here are some quicker updates. I'm going to use NFL notifications for this one. That's one of my favorite rumor sites for everything. I'll tell you what they have. They just put out everything in terms of what players are looking for. The Ravens are looking for a top running back right now. They're hunting like crazy. Last I heard, they were looking at Josh Jacobs. Try to pry him away from the Raiders. The Bears are taking calls on Jalen Johnson. The main guys that have been active in this conversation have been the Bills, the Eagles, and the Steelers, all three digging around for the corner. Steelers are calling around for corners, I just confirmed here. The Browns looking for a backup quarterback and wide receiver in that situation. I mentioned Brissett could be a possible option, going to make a trade to get him back over there, who was their quarterback last year. And the Eagles looking for any kind of defensive help they can get. That's where we're currently at. And back to notifications, as Schefter has said something. He did not, apparently. He's leaving it as is. Thanks so much, Schefter. Don't ever do that to me again. Let's take a very good look here at the NFL Noties. That's who I follow for everything. Let's see. They're talking about the game-winning touchdown, trade the line update. Let's see if he's got anything other. What's interesting, though, is he brought up a good point. There's been a lot of desire to get Josh Dobbs and Brissett from around the league, but there's still no sign of Carson Wentz getting another chance right now because it should be mentioned that he had 27 TDs and 7 interceptions just only 2 seasons ago. So is it possible that teams are just done with Wentz? They just don't care anymore for him? That's a good question to ask yourself. Guys like Brissett and Dobbs are being highly coveted right now, but Wentz is not. So the question becomes, is it possible that Wentz's time in the NFL is done and teams have just given up on him? When I personally think he could easily just be somewhere else. He could totally be a backup somewhere else and be a fill-in guy. To see him not even get a backup opportunity is kind of sad. Armand says, in my opinion, the Jets will make any trades. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you you're not going to make trades, but I wouldn't be sitting here praying for something magical to happen. Like for me, you'll be sitting here hoping you get somebody who's a veteran that'll help out and really get your quarterback figured out, that situation resolved for now. But you'll try to go for somebody who's like a big name, and you'll end up with somebody like Kyle Slaughter. As we've hit the 30-minute mark here, 30 minutes until the deadline ends, just a heads up. Even though the deadline ends in a half hour, there's still time for other things to happen. As in, like, there could be some deals trickling over that spill over into the next hour. So, I mean, the next half hour. So we could see. Anything from, like, the next 20 to 30 minutes after that deadline ends, it could still be news. So keep an eye out for that. Because they have to put in the report by that time. And then the reporters don't get it out sometimes until 50 minutes after. Do you think the Jets won't make any trades? I think they will make a trade. I don't know what it'll be, but I have a good feeling that there will be a trade done by the Jets today. I don't know how it's going to happen, but, I mean, you got to pray Douglas does something really creative. I mean, let's see what else there is from what else I could find. I mean, I'm hunting around. There we go. This is what I was looking for. I got it. That's what I was looking for. So, the Browns were calling the Commanders about both Jacoby and Brissett and Terry McLaurin. Obviously, McLaurin would never be traded, so don't even take any interest in that. But Brissett, like I said, very real possibility he could end up as a Brown again. Go right back to where he was last year, because y'all know. Y'all know the truth. You know the story with that. Now, this one isn't football news, but it is baseball news. This is kind of significant. If you're a baseball fan, you'll find some interest in this, actually. Craig Counsell has spoken with the Mets and Guardians about their managerial vacancies and is now evaluating his options, including possibly staying with the Brewers. He's looking like he's more than likely going to manage again in 2024 as opposed to taking that year off. That comes from John Morosi 26 minutes ago, MLB Network. That's what we've heard. So, Counsell, Mets and Guardians. Possibly going back to the Brewers, too. So, he's looking at all his options. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, honestly, to think about. Oh. You guys didn't see that. You guys definitely did not see that. Again, I am powering through because I'm not feeling the best. I'm doing what I can. But yeah. This is what we're seeing. I mean, let's see what else I could say. Next rumor coming in, Ian Rappaport says, it's done. It's done. Okay. Jalen Johnson will be staying in Chicago. That's the result. Oh my gosh, Chicago pulled to Chicago. Oh, Chicago. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Bears are going to suck today. So, forget what I said about Jalen Johnson. He's not getting dealt. He's expected to stay in Chicago, according to Ian Rappaport. Stupid. I've never heard of something so stupid in my life. We got another trade. Packers DB Rasul Douglas has been traded to the Bills. Rasul Douglas goes from the Packers to the Bills. The deal is done. We're getting a compensation update as we speak. Rasul Douglas to the Bills. But once again, how in the world did they decide that he was going to request trade? Like, hey, you know what? No, you can wait till the season's over. You can go wherever you want after that. Like, come on, bro. Give us some entertainment. I want madness. Give me madness. Garofalo has now tweeted. Let's see what Mike Garofalo has to say. Garofalo says, well, he said exactly what we all were thinking, which is, again, Rasul Douglas goes to the Bills. Now, let me go explore other things real quick so you go back to the insider, see if there's anything else being updated. So, Rasul Douglas has gone to the Bills. We're waiting for a compensation update. That's an interesting trade. Nothing that I'm against, but that is a, it's, the trade is good. The trade's fine. It'll be fine. Well, I'm going to wait to see what the compensation update is. But Armand just said, in my opinion, the Council should take the Guardians' job because they have a lot of pitching in the AL Central's wide open division. Yep, I could agree with you on that. I think that's the best job for them. The Mets are in a bit of a rebuild phase, so they're just not a team you could really invest in right now. And, I mean, they're not a team that wants to invest in a manager to be there for 5 years. They're not in that position. Cohen can sell whatever snake oil he wants, but it's the truth. He wants a manager who's going to come in and make a winning franchise in 2 years. Council doesn't want that. He doesn't want to have to go to a rebuilding team. He wants to go to a team that has a lot of potential, has a lot of talent, and capabilities to be a playoff team that can make it to the World Series. And that is a better opportunity with the Guardians than he would with the Mets. So, fully on board with that. I agree with you. Mets. The Mets are not a better option. It is definitely the Guardians. Less than 30 minutes now till the deadline. I am actually terrified to see what Tom Grossi's thinking right now about Rasul Douglas being moved, because he has just been very, very, very quiet. I'm actually terrified to see. Let's see what else is going on. Cam Curl tweeted out, bruh, about 47 minutes ago, which basically means he may not be happy that Young and Sweat got dealt. Evan Massey with a bombshell. Per source, the Packers are in talks with multiple teams about trades involving Preston Smith and Devondre Campbell. Nothing done right now, but that could change. So Preston Smith and Devondre Campbell are options now being looked at. So keep an eye on that. 2 pass rushers. You were just talking about it earlier, Cousins Squid Games. You were just saying the same thing, man. You were just saying you wanted an edge guy. You wanted good defensive help on that side. Devondre Campbell's a good option, and so is Preston Smith. Those 2 guys, if you want help, those are your guys you got to fight for. Negotiate with the Lions, get that deal done. Negotiate with the Packers, get it done. Hopefully you can pull off a trade. But that is true. They are looking at those 2 and looking to move them now. They're taking calls. So now the question is, well, we got our certified Tom Grotz response. The response is, what the F? They made a move. They made a move and sold. Wow. Okay. If the Bills get Rasul Douglas, we are still waiting to see what else is left. I'm hoping we get an answer soon. Also, shout out the Jaguars for being one of the funniest social teams in the NFL. You guys have to see this. I'm showing it. The Jaguars just posted this clip when they made the trip with Ezra Cleveland. Right here. Minnesota! What a response. What a response that was. Great response by the social team. I love it. I love it so much. All right, we've got 41 minutes. I don't know why is it saying... Okay, this isn't cool. All right, I got to adjust this again. This timer's acting up again. Let me do it again, adjust it. We got to drop the time down. I'm dropping it down now to, we are at 36, so we'll drop it down to 23. We'll do 20, we'll do 23 minutes. 23 minutes left until the deadline is officially over. 23 minutes to go. Again, rumors are starting to build up. Things are starting to heat up now as we speak. I told you guys about the Jaguars news that's been heating up now. The Packers news. Devondre Campbell and Preston Smith are being shopped right now as we speak. We don't know if the deals are going to get done in time, but they are being moved around. They've been taking calls. Let's see what happens. Let's see what else there is. I mean, you guys have already heard what some of the big deals are today. You've seen the news with Montez Sweat. You've seen the news with Chase Young happen. You've seen Donovan Peoples-Jones get traded. You've seen a few guys get moved. I mean, I don't know what else is going to, expect from anything else. Adam Schefter has a tweet. Let's see what he says. The Giants, it's a Giants update. The Giants are signing Tommy DeVito to their active roster. I think every Giants fan just screamed no audibly, which means there's a good chance Tommy DeVito will likely have to back up this weekend. Let's see what else is going on. I mean, that's the Giants news, right? Giants fans got to be fuming right now that that's their news. We're looking through to see if I can get any kind of compensation update for Rasul Douglas. I don't have anything right now. I have nothing. I have no compensation update for you at this time. They're still trying to figure it out, it looks like, amongst themselves. Thanks for that tweet, Sideline Daily. Responding to the Schefter tweet of Giants signing Tommy DeVito to the active roster, the response was, nobody cares. It's hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. The compensation update we already gave about the Browns and Lions trade. Donovan Peoples-Jones goes to the Lions in return for a 2025 sixth. That was the update from earlier. Now it's getting interesting. Apparently, Jets fans are a little up in the air and pissed off. They wanted to see if they could get Ezra Cleveland. They wanted that. So, I mean, the Jets fans are upset because they wanted Ezra Cleveland. He goes to the Jaguars instead. They needed guard help. They're completely banged up massively. Ezra Cleveland would have been a big help in that factor. Didn't make the trade. Good job, Joe Douglas. Good job. Armand says the UCL surgery midseason is expected to be out well into 2024. Who are we talking about with the UCL surgery specifically? I gotta hear it from you. Who's the player that's missing out? As I wait for him to tweet out to type an answer into the chat. Again, I got chat on YouTube and chat on Twitch, so I'm just going back and forth between both. Let's see. Any other insider rumor updates? Anything? Let's see. Okay, so the reason why the Giants made this move, according to Jordan Rannon, is that they moved Gunnar Olszewski to the practice squad to open the spot for DeVito because he was out of practice squad elevations. So they had to make that move. Let's see what else there is. So Jalen Johnson staying in Chicago pretty much indicates that the 49ers were out on Johnson, which is actually a little fascinating. I'm a little surprised by that. Johnson's a great player. So it's a little fascinating to see them make a decision like that. Okay, we had the full competition update thanks to Spot Rack for what's going on with Rasul Douglas. I'm retweeting it now. The Bills have acquired a 5th round pick and Rasul Douglas in exchange for a 3rd round pick. They gave up a third-round pick to Green Bay to get Rasul Douglas in a fifth. Green Bay ends up freeing up $6.5 million of cap space for next year per this move. That's where we're at. That is not a bad trade at all. I'm on board with that. I like it. I'm a little fascinated, though. I shouldn't be shocked, but Tampa's not going to do anything in this deadline. I could have told you that as a Bucs fan. Hope you guys know that. They're not going to do anything. Update for the Broncos. There are a couple names you could sign up. You could officially cross out now. Pat Surtain, Jerry Jeudy, and Courtland Sutton are not going to be traded prior to the deadline. Schefter doesn't expect them to make any moves, actually, which would mean that Justin Simmons doesn't get moved either. So you can pretty much cross out Justin Simmons at this point. He is done for. Justin Simmons is not going to be traded. So you can remove him from that list. Again, there's still some names that could work. We're going to cross out Jalen Johnson, too, and I guess we'll cross out Josh Jacobs, too, because the Raiders will not be making any moves either. Now, Jacoby Brissett, Derek Barnett, Josh Uche, Ezekiel Elliott, and Darnell Mooney are other names that I've said to watch here, as we've now gone under 20 minutes now until this is over. Oh, Penn Murphy, who was claimed by the Mets, he pitched for the Mariners. Oh, gotcha, okay. You saw UCL surgery midseason, expect to be out well in 2024. I mean, I believe that. That's not an easy thing to come back from. That takes a lot of time, a lot of recovery, a lot of questions around that. But while we wait as this thing starts to slow down a bit, hasn't heated up yet. It'll probably heat up in the next, I would say in the next 10 minutes, you'll start seeing more trades come through. But in the meantime, let's talk about the other big trade that happened, right? Let's talk about Mr. James Harden. Harden ends up going and getting his way last night. I'll tell you a story. I was on the train last night coming home from work, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like half asleep. I'm about to stop away from my station, and I'm like passing out in the train, like I'm like out of it. My phone vibrates, and the person next to me who looked like they were on some kind of drug, I'm thinking blow. They looked over me like that. Like some kind of like snap reaction when my phone vibrated. And I was like really creeped out, trying my best not to look great, not to look like I was creeped out by them, because you don't want to give them any kind of attention, because once you give those kind of people attention, they're just going to make you a target, which is not fun. But again, I just went with it. I was playing very low key with it, and I had to go like this with my phone, and I was like, okay, and I was swiping through, and I saw it, and I went, oh my god, it happened. Wojnarowski has got to stop tweeting at putting these trades out 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. He's got to stop this. He's got to stop. I hate him for this. Now, they got the compensation figured out. They got it all done. In the end, I don't think it was a bad trade for the Clippers, and I don't think it was bad necessarily for the Sixers. Obviously, the Sixers get rid of a guy who just didn't want to be there. That's how you got to look at it. The Sixers got rid of a guy who didn't want to be there. Now, there were comments made, right? And there are opinions out there about how this went. And I don't know. How do I put it? Let's see. Yes, this is a flag, everybody. This is the flag. This is my Halloween costume this year. And on top of that, as I give out candy out this year, it's a blind ref too. I can't see where I am. Flag. Done. Flag. So, with Harden, I'm pulling up the deal now so I can read through it and give you guys the full breakdown on it. Spot Rack usually makes a good copy of all these trades and transactions, so I'm going to go to them and just make sure we got this. Let's see what we're working on here. There's a trade tracker here somewhere. I know it is. So let's see. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Yep, trade tracker. Here we go. I got it. It's going to take a second, though, because Spot Rack takes a while to load. It's a huge player database with all their contracts and historical contracts, everything for every player. So it takes a second. Here we go. Here is the deal. Apparently, there was a third team in this. It's not being talked about. It's Oklahoma City, but we'll go through the whole thing real quick. So the Clippers got James Harden and P.J. Tucker and Philip Petrusev. In return, Philly got back Kenyon Martin Jr., Marcus Morris Sr., Nick Batum, and Robert Covington. On top of that, there's also a 2028 first-round pick a 2029 first round pick, which Philly has the right to swap. A 2026 first round pick, which the Clippers pick with the least favorable language, and a Clippers pick with the least favorable language. And a 2024 second, which is to be determined to be whether it's a Toronto pick or Indiana, Utah, Cleveland pick. And then a 2029 second round pick, which is the Clippers' actual pick. So that's what they gave up. That's the full extent. Again, LA gave up a lot. But is it enough to say that they lose this trade and that they lost more value than they gained? That is what what remains in this question. So I'll tell you guys now, based off this, what the roster looks like. So let's look at the Clippers, right? The Clippers making this trade, they got rid of a lot of depth. And with this trade, we go to the roster, right? We look at roster. Oh, depth. There it is. Okay, so with the depth now, right? James Harden would basically be taking over at the, well, I don't agree with this, but I think Paul George would be at the small. Man would be at the 2, and you'd have Harden at the 1. It's a point guard. Russell Westbrook the backup. But it's still a decent roster all the way around. Harden, George, Terrence Mann, Kawhi Leonard, Zubats, and the backups you got Amir Coffey, PJ Tucker, Mason Plumlee, Norman Powell, and Russell Westbrook. And they still have Bones Highland. And Kobe Brown. And Diabate. I mean, they are fine. This is a fine roster still. If you didn't think they were a contender before, this is absolutely going to make them a contender. I don't know how anybody doesn't think this team could be a contender. Respectfully speaking, I don't know how you don't think that. If you guys were here on the show earlier, I should say last week, I gave out my predictions for the NBA this year, along with some bold thoughts that I didn't think I was going to do. So I'm going to read you guys what I said. You can tell me if I was crazy or not. On this Post-it is everything saved. I'm doing everything on Post-its now, so don't forget what I said or did. MVP pick this year. I have a brain pick and a heart pick. What I want to happen in my heart, what I know is going to happen in my head. In my head, I know it's going to be Jokic. Jokic is going to win an MVP this year. Again, he's going to win it again. It's just going to be his third one. And my heart pick, though, is for SGA to win it for the Thunder. I want him to win it. I think he's a great player, a lot of potential. We'll have to see him win an MVP award. My finals pick is the Celtics and the Suns. That is my brain pick. That's what I think most likely will happen. So I'm going with the Celtics and Suns to go. And as for my pick for the my heart, what I want in my heart, I went with the Milwaukee Bucks because it's my team, that's my squad. Or I go with the Clippers. So I have Bucks and Clippers as my finals matchup in my heart. That's what my heart says. My brain says it's going to be Celtics and Suns. As for everything else, you have a DPOY pick. My head says it's AD. My heart says Giannis. And Coach of the Year, my head says it's going to be Frank Vogel for the Suns. And for my heart, it says Ty Lue for the Clips. That's where I'm at currently. And so with this deal, that's what that looks like now for the Clippers. Now let's see how it looks for Philly. Because Philly getting rid of Harden, I know that wasn't easy to do. But let's just take a look. Now with this trade, this is what the team looks like. I want you guys to be aware of this. Tyrese Maxey, DeAnthony Melton, Tobias Harris, Robert Covington, Joel Embiid. Your rotational guys, you got Patrick Beverley, Jaden Springer, Kenyon Martin Jr., Kelly Oubre, and Paul Reed. You've also got in there Furkan Korkmaz, Mo Bamba, Marcus Morris Sr., Terquavion Smith, Javonte Smart, and yeah, that's it. And yeah, that's it. Overall, the team, you guys can easily tell, you should know, this is not a team that's going to win you a championship. This isn't a championship team. They're slowly starting to regress into a rebuilding team. And if that's the case, Joel Embiid's probably not going to stay much longer. I don't see a reason for him to stay. This is just interesting. I mean, they're on a 2-1 start without Harden. That's great. But the trade they just made, getting rid of PJ Tucker and everything, that's just not an easy trade to make. And did they keep the guys they had? Yeah, for the most part. But you got guys that don't want to be there. Furkan Korkmaz is a big one. He's been trying to get out for 5 years. He still can't get out of there. They won't let him go. So that is the truth. Now, here we go. Less than 10 minutes to go, and Armand coming through with a big one from Albert Breer. The Patriots listened, but are now hanging on to young contract year guys in Josh Uche, Kyle Duggar, and Mike Onwenu. And they never got any calls on Mac Jones or Ezekiel Elliott. So Ezekiel Elliott is now out the window. I heard Elliott was gaining interest. Didn't mean they got calls. But Uche's out too, which means 3 guys are left that could still be traded. Jacoby Brissett, Derek Barnett, Darnell Mooney. That's what you're down to. And I haven't heard that the Bears are done for the day yet. Let me go check my sources one more time and just make sure. So overall, my thoughts on this trade, Philly obviously lost this one, but you got rid of a guy who didn't want to be there. So I understand it. I understand why the deal had to be made. I say it all the time. They were trying their best to get a good comp, and they weren't getting what they wanted. They didn't get the compensation they were looking for. So as a result, you pay the price. You had to do it. It was rather, you could try so hard to get what you want in terms of comp, right? For making a fair deal. But in the end, it's not going to be the fair deal you want. It comes down to the player himself. He doesn't want to be on the team. There's nothing to reconcile. It's over. So in the end, you're going to see teams have to compensate and get less of what they wanted to make that player happy and give him what he wants, rather than have to pay him $40 million to sit on the bench and not play. So they moved him, and that was that. So now Harden is an LA Clipper. He gets to work with a super team once again. Unfreaking believable. Garofolo says, yep. All indications there were no trade talks on the last 2. Yep. Uche seemed more likely to be dealt a while ago. As the deadline drew closer, he expected to remain with the Patriots, and that'll be the case. So now they're not moving. Let's go check out the insiders, see if I got any updates there on any kind of situations. Let's see. Now, the reason why DeVito got elevated and got put onto the 53 is because Tyrod Taylor will likely be out on Sunday. You don't make DeVito QB2 if Taylor's in and healthy. So now, DeVito is the QB2. He'll be the backup. Tyrod Taylor will be out for Sunday, more than likely now. Let's see if there's any other updates I can give you guys. I got nothing else for you at the moment. As we're hitting now, just over 6 minutes to go until this is over. Now remember, things are going to spill over. We don't know what could happen. I told you guys it'll be fairly slow for the most part. I mean, we're going through everything else to see what's going on. The Steelers, actually this is a very sad update, but we have to do it anyway. One of the owners of the Steelers has passed away. Which is Patrick Rooney. Patrick Rooney passed away, son of Arthur Rooney Sr. and brother of Dan Rooney. Like his twin brother John, who passed away in 2022, Pat grew up on the north side of Pittsburgh and graduated from North Catholic High School. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family. So it's a rough loss for their family. They're having a hard time. But you know what? This just goes to show you why I usually have respect for Steelers fans, and I have to change it now because of how they just reacted. Here, you guys want to get a peek at the comments here to understand why I sometimes hate fan bases and dedicated fan bases where they're diehards. Listen, I respect you as a fan. I always will. I respect fans because they bring a lot of money to the game. But stuff like this. Okay? If you're under the age of 13, be careful what you see. Jared Beamer, can you effing make a trade? RIP. No RIP, but make a trade. They should have turned the comments off. These comments are embarrassing. Show some respect. Rest in peace. Trade, man. RIP. Praying, bro. I don't give an F. Where is the trade? Sending my condolences, but this man is a literal clown. You guys continue to be poverty. RIP, now tell Omar to wake up. RIP is Omar awake. Make a trade. Make a trade. RIP Rooney. Let's see. Make a trade. Rest in peace and make a trade. RIP, make a trade. I'm saddened that we don't make no trades. RIP Pat Rooney. RIP make a trade. Rest in peace Patrick. Good. Trade for Pat Surtain. For God's sake, please turn the comments off. Yeah, pretty much. You got to turn off the comments for this one. Make a trade in honor of Pat. Wrong Rooney. I'm telling you, they're ruthless. Condolences to all who knew him. Good. When? Which is probably going to be like, when did I ask? I guess he died before the trade deadline to not get any more upset. How about we make a trade? Who? Steelers, go get Derrick Henry, RB1, please. Omar, all right, people, how can you look at this team and say it has no issues and not trade anyone your way? For a split second, we thought we traded Pat Pete, and this is how the admin announced it. Come on, do something. RP, also Omar's a fraud. I mean, look, you guys see it. This is completely disgusting. As a fan, are you kidding me? That's what you do? That's terrible. Let's get the... Sorry, the timer's off again. I apologize, everybody. We're going to just correct this now. It keeps doing it. We're down to the final 3 minutes, so I'm just going to drop the timer now. You guys see it drop it down. We're down to like the final 3 or 4 minutes now. We're here. I'm not going to show my screen anymore so we can stay here on the timer until the timer goes off. And then that'll be it. But back here, you said something about Mia O'Brien. That's the Miami reporter. Let's see what she said. Let's see. You said something about Mia O'Brien's tweet. Let's see what you said. Wait, no, is she... I don't know if she's Dolphins or Jaguars. I think she's Dolphins. Let's see what Mia O'Brien said. Mia O'Brien says... Jaguars and Patriots had a stalemate. Was over a 4th or 5th round pick comp, I'm told. Splitting hairs, in my opinion, but alas. Okay, so it looked like the intention was what we thought. The Jaguars and Patriots were looking at trying to land Josh Uche, one of these guys. Looks like they were looking for... Yeah, you're right, Armand. Jaguars and Patriots had a stalemate over a 4th or 5th round pick compensation. And so that was involving one of Josh Uche, Duggar, or Onwenu. So we have to see what happened there. We might not ever know, but we know that there was supposed to be something. A minute 45 to go left in this deadline. Yep, she's Jags reporter. Thank you, Armand. I forgot. I thought she was Dolphins at one point. Per Jordan Schultz, the Broncos not expect to trade Jerry Jeudy or Colton Sutton. Nothing good on the table. That's what I thought. Nobody likes either of the guys for what they are. Feel like they can't give good comp as a result. This is what happens, man. This is what happens. But apparently Rasul Douglas, I also read, he ended up going to Buffalo because Buffalo tried... Oh, wait. We have a move. The Jets made a move. Holy crap, the Jets made a move. The Jets have bolstered their offensive line, signing 2-time Pro Bowl guard Roger Saffold III to their practice squad with the intent to promote him to their active roster. He last played with Buffalo in 2022. So Roger Saffold III goes to the Jets. The Jets have an offensive lineman with less than a minute to go here at the deadline. They have an offensive lineman that they needed. They got what they needed, a former Pro Bowler. Great move by them. Great depth signing. I love it. I absolutely love it. No, not a trade, but it's a big signing, regardless. Very happy for them. Now, here's the other thing. The reasoning why apparently the Bills went and got Rasul Douglas was because Jalen Johnson, the asking price was too steep. So as a result of it, the asking price being too steep, because the asking price was too steep for Jalen Johnson and they decided to take him off the table, they then pivoted, went with the Packers, got a quick deal done, got Rasul Douglas. So they originally wanted Jalen, they couldn't get him. Well, man, that's kind of a interesting thing to happen. Browns an hour ago said they signed Jaron Christian, Kenyon Drake, and James Prochet to the practice squad. That is the full information the Browns have given. No trades from them. And I believe we're about to hit the mark. Are we about to hit it? Trade line has officially ended. The trade deadline has officially ended. I love it. I love it. The deadline is over, everybody. Deadline is over. We can officially delete this off the board. Deadline is over. We have hit the time. It is 4 o'clock now here on the East Coast. Time to see what trickles over in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Doesn't mean it's officially over. We will hear if there's any other moves coming. But let's see if there's any other interesting posts we've seen so far. Take a look at some athletes. Kayshawn Nixon puts out a heartbreak emoji because he's not happy about, I guess, Rasul Douglas leaving and being traded. But this is a business. Cowboys, it's been confirmed the Cowboys have made no trades by today's deadline. It is over. The trade deadline has also ended for the Titans, so we're confirming teams now. Teams who did not make a trade. The Titans also did not make a trade, according to Sam Phelan. An hour before the deadline, Rand Carthon was seen out on the practice field talking to players. So the Titans did not make a deal. Titans are done. So no Titans, no Cowboys. Both of them did not make trades, which means Derrick Henry was not moved. Neither was D-Hop or Tannehill, as was originally rumored. Cowboys made no trades either, so nobody gets moved there. We already talked about what happened with the Jets signing offensive linemen. The Broncos did not make any moves at the deadline, so the Broncos are done. So Denver's done. Denver's finished. We'll add in here, what else do we have? The NFC South, the entire NFC South is quiet. Greg Allman, who covers the NFC South, I believe for The Athletic, for Fox Sports, he has stated that these deals can go public after the deadline, but it's 4 o'clock and no word of any of these trades by the 4 NFC South teams. So the Falcons, the Bucs, the Panthers, and the Saints did not make any trades. They're all out. That's 7 teams now confirmed with no deals. So Falcons, Saints, Panthers, and Bucs all did not make a trade today. The Jets didn't make a trade. They ended up signing Roger Saffold instead of making a trade, which I don't think that's a bad idea. I'm not mad about it. No deals for the Patriots. Mike Reese just confirmed it. Patriots did not make a deal. They are good. They're holding firm. As I continue to read through everything else, I'll let you guys know if anything else happened. Let's see. It does appear the con artist has pulled off any magic this time around. Trade deadline has passed. The con artist is Pittsburgh Steelers. We're talking about Omar Khan. Which means the Steelers did not make any deals. The Steelers, no trades for that. We're going to continue to read through. Broncos, we talked about it. They did receive interest for some of their players, but at the end of the day, they decided to stick with the current team. They didn't make any deals. Arizona, we have nothing interesting here at the moment. I'll let you guys know of anything else. I'm currently reading through to see anything else with the NFL Team Insiders, getting more information now. I'm getting flooded right now. Let's see what else there is. The Jets did not make a deal at the deadline. There were players they would have been interested in, though, but they were unavailable. The players they would have been interested in I just read, Mike Evans and Devontae Adams were the 2 guys they were interested in. Neither one was available for trade, so no trade ends up happening for the Jets this time around. And Rappaport said the NFL's trade deadline has hit, no more trades. So that doesn't mean it's over yet. They could trickle over. But even though the trade deadline is over for the Jets, we're going to write that down. The Jets are done as well. The Jets keep Carl Lawson and Dalvin Cook. So there wasn't any real league-wide interest in either in the end, according to Zach Rosenblatt. And so this is just going to be an interesting move moving forward. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, anything else I could add in here? Let's see. The Dolphins did not make a move at the deadline either. The Dolphins are done. Let's add in here some other people I see. No trades for the Bengals this year. The NFL trade line is now closed. That's from Kelsey Conway. Bengals, done. Let's add in some other people. Let's see. The Colts didn't make a deal. James Boyd just confirmed the Colts did not make a deal. Indianapolis stays put. Colts are done. So we are now at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 teams have now confirmed they are done. Let's see what else is going on. Panthers are done. We already talked about that. Anybody else? Let's see. Anybody else? No trade for the Saints already confirmed. The Eagles made no deals at the deadline. Nothing trickling over from Philly. That is now number 15. Number 14 for these teams. Number 14. Currently waiting on some more information as we go on. Packers are done. Same thing with the Seahawks. Packers and Seahawks are finished. No deals from either squad. So we're at 16 teams now. And it looks like the Bears are finished as well. That'll make 17. 17 teams. There could still be a few more. We're still going through to see any kind of more trades coming through. At the moment, we are at 18 teams confirming that they have no more deals in place, with still 14 more left to confirm. Let's see if we got anybody else here. Buccaneers confirmed they signed Wolford to the practice squad. O'Connor's released for the second time this season to make room. Broncos didn't move any of their major players. Packers, we already said we're done. The Giants didn't make any other deal. They didn't have an interest in moving Barkley, and their interest wasn't there for Dory Jackson and other players such as them. They're done. The Giants are finished. So that is 19 teams now. 13 left to go. 19. 19 confirmed. Let's see what else is going on. We already confirmed the Jets are finished. We've just confirmed that already. Do you have anything else from the team insiders? Anything else? Let's see what else we have. We already talked about the Saints didn't make any trades. It looks like the Cardinals. I haven't heard anything else. And apparently, Allman has confirmed now only 10 of the NFL 30 teams made moves today, which means there are no more trades in general the way he's talking. But I would wait for the other teams to confirm that that is it and that there are no more trades coming through. I also like ML football for a reason. He's not afraid with the jokes, and I'm going to show you guys this new one. I like when he jokes around a bit. This is the new one. Yearly tweet for close to 30 years now. They froze. My guys haven't moved in 26 years. Yeah, that's a good summary for the way things went. That's a good summary. Cowboys went absolutely ice cold. Did nothing. Nothing at the deadline. I couldn't imagine being a fan of a team who did nothing. Me being a Bucs fan, knowing they did absolutely nothing. I mean, look, this was an eventful deadline, but it wasn't anywhere near close to what it was like last year. Last year's deadline will never be replicated again. I don't even think it's possible. I'm being real with all of you. I'm going through the insiders again, see if there's any other teams confirming. We talked about the Cowboys already not doing a trade. The Colts didn't make a trade. The Browns are done. There's your next one. Browns are done. That's 20. We got 12 more to go. Again, I told you. I know one person said it. Ravens didn't make a deal. They were in the mix on a few things, according to Jeff Zrebiak, but they just never got close enough to the finish line with any of them. So 21. We're 21 teams, 11 to go. 11 left to confirm. I think we're going to say the Rams as well. I think we're going to say the Rams didn't make a trade either. I think we can confirm that. So we're at 22. 10 teams. Well, that's 9, I think, right? You said 9? Let's see. Well, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 11 trades. 11 teams left. We already talked about the Bengals held pat. Cowboys stayed pat. We're still waiting for more. Let's see what else goes on. Texans, done. Texans did not make a deal. Texans are finished as well. We've still got some more teams to go. We also have a confirmation that Kenny Pickett will play on Thursday night. We have a confirmation of that as well. Yeah, this is a deadline of questions. Nothing but questions. A good amount of unanswered ones at that too. The Panthers apparently stayed static. Yeah, there's just nothing else I could offer. I think it's safe to say it's over and there's going to be no more deals. So that's it for that. Let's talk about some winners and losers then. Trade deadline passed. Instinctively, I'm going to write down some teams. We'll talk about it here. You guys share your thoughts. Share them with me. We'll talk about some guys. A quick trade recap of everything that happened today. And we'll figure out amongst ourselves who's a winner and loser. Now, I'm sure there are teams who could have traded. Oh, thank you, Adam Schefter, for making the final tally of trades. This is one of the worst trade deadlines probably we've seen in a while. This is one of the weaker ones we've seen. Not worst, but I'll say weaker. So if you're talking about, like, since the season started, right, in terms of trades, let's go from not that. We're going to go from a little later than that. We're going to go from, like, when Leonard Williams got traded. We'll start from there. We're not going to include Kevin Byard's trade. So, essentially, these are all the players that got traded at the deadline within the last 24 hours. Chase Young, San Francisco, return was a third-round pick. Montez Sweat to Chicago, return was a second-round pick. Leonard Williams to Seattle, return was a second-round pick, I think they said, and a fifth-round pick. Ezra Cleveland, Jacksonville, return was a sixth-round pick. Josh Dobbs, and a seventh to Minnesota in return for a sixth, conditional. Donovan Peoples-Jones to Detroit, return was a sixth-round pick. Rasul Douglas to Buffalo, return was, I believe, a fourth or third-round pick. Contavious Street to Atlanta, return was like a sixth-round pick. And we're going to ignore the rest of them. That's essentially all the trades from today. All the big names that have been floating around as suggestions did not get traded, which, again, makes for a very disappointing deadline. Very disappointing. Now, in the end, we're talking about some guys that could have been moved that didn't end up being moved. These were the guys that were rumored. We heard Justin Simmons. Ezekiel Elliott, Darnell Mooney, Jacoby Brissett, Derek Barnett, Josh Uche, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Johnson, Jahan Dotson. And guys who were never going to get moved or were pulled were Cam Curl, D-Hop, Derrick Henry, Jordan Hicks, Danielle Hunter, and Devontae Adams. All the madness we could have had, and it was just held back. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, teams. You made such a great... They get on my nerves, man. I think a winner of this trade I'm going to put is as much as it sucks, Commanders. Commanders won the trade. Won this year. They understood what was happening with them. They understand where they stand right now as a team. It was just bound to happen. This trade was going to happen. But they got good returns, good compensation. A second and a third for both those guys, perfectly fine. And now you have more flexibility with those picks to really rebuild a roster this season. So I'm not really complaining. I think it was really good for them. I'm fully on board with Commanders committing to a rebuild. I think a loser is definitely the Jets. I won't say the Jets. They didn't really make a trade. They made a signing. They signed Roger Saffold, which, again, very big deal. Good signing there for them. They needed that. I'll give some credit also to the Jacksonville Jaguars getting Ezra Cleveland. You really need to protect Lawrence more than anything else, and they really needed that this year, and they got it now with Ezra Cleveland. They got an interior guy who's going to start immediately. Great work for him. Happy for that. I'm not going to make the Jets loser again. They didn't trade, but they still got a guy they were looking for. So, in the end, they got what they needed. It doesn't make them a loser, does it? Let's see what other news we have here as I go back. Oh, I got to go back to Schefter's thing. I just lost it all. I think in the end, the Raiders are a loser. The Raiders could have made some moves, accepted the fact that they weren't going to be a good team this year, and give players what they wanted. I think Devontae Adams would have been fine with the trade. The things have been going downhill there for so long. Went there to go play with the guy he played in college with. He's only played a year. Then they got rid of him. And now he's playing here with the guy who's giving him 1 or 2 passes a game. I don't know what else to say. And he should be having way more touchdowns and way more yardage, and he's not getting it. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I think the Raiders are definitely a loser in this deadline. Bills got the corner they needed, can't complain. Dolphins didn't need to make a trade. Patriots not trading anybody. Typical Bill, but it's going to come back to bite him big time. So, don't really care. Let's see. Bengals staying put. Not a big deal, honestly. I think they're getting a good stride. Same thing goes for the Ravens. They didn't trade for anybody, but they didn't need to. I think they're okay. Steelers, actually. Them making trades of any kind would have been somewhat helpful, and they did not do so. So maybe they're a borderline loser in this one. And the Browns getting rid of Donovan Peoples-Jones, they just needed to make room. They couldn't afford to have another guy in there. Now, San Francisco getting Chase Young, that was kind of great, honestly. So I'll give San Fran some credit there. Got some defensive help that they needed. Big time. So good on them. Leonard Williams as well. Going to Seattle. Seattle gets what they needed, which was stronger pass rush and better D linemen, and they get that because now they're the top of the division over the San Francisco 49ers. Seattle needs to lock down that division. This is the way to do it. So kudos to Seattle. This is big. And let's also throw in here the who else we throw in here as a possible winner? I'm thinking we could give some credit to I'm not going to go to Chicago, honestly. They get Montez Sweat, but I think they did the wrong thing. Rather than accept the fact that you were a losing team, right? Rather than accept the fact that you were a losing team, Chicago, you went on and said, oh, you know what? Who cares? I'm going to go out there, go get myself a defensive lineman, and then all our problems are solved. My guy, Tyson Bagent's still your quarterback. That's one. And two, you have 2 wins on the season. Your season is over no matter how you look at it. You're 2-6. The season is over. Accept your losses, cut your losses, and make some trades. Darnell Mooney, gone. Who else could you really include in that, honestly? Yannick Ngakoue, maybe. Jalen Johnson. Move on. Give these guys what they need. Free them from the death trap that is the Chicago Bears. Do something right. I hate when teams do this, when they don't accept the fact that they're a losing team and that they're going to continue to fight despite the fact they're 2-6. You understand how bad you are right now? No. No. I can't accept it. So I would wish teams would be more understanding and open and just knowing the fact that they are not a good team and that they don't have a good future here. But they don't do that, and it's a pain in the butt all the time. So Chicago's a loser. I know they got Montez Sweat. It's a great deal, but you know what? They're a loser. You gave up a 3rd-round pick for him. You gave up a 2nd-round pick for him. You give a 2nd-round pick in a year where your team sucks. Why? Why? I don't get it, Aberflus. I don't get it. Whoever the GM is, still Ryan Poles. I don't know. They got a lot of work to do. They got to figure out their priorities because their priorities seem like they're all over the place. Terrible, terrible, terrible decision making. Terrible. I already told you guys. So the Raiders and the Bears are my top losers here, and I told you guys my winners. I think the 49ers you can count as a winner here. Vikings got their quarterback too. Don't forget that they got their quarterback. Josh Jobs to the Vikings. They got their quarterback. So that's their response. They lose Cousins, they get Dobbs. Dobbs is not going to start this week. It's going to be Jaron Hall, but it's a serviceable replacement. Guy's going to have good protection, better weapons. He's going to be in a better place now with the Vikings than he was with the Cardinals. So maybe the Vikings have a shot of hope. I'm not going to write them off. They clearly have a chance. So this is actually a really good move for the Vikings. You got a guy who has starting experience this season. It won't take long to get him up to speed. He'll be back up and ready to go by next week. Now here's the thing they were talking about. The worst pass block win rate this season is the Patriots, followed by the Jaguars and the Saints. It's kind of unbelievable that these teams are so bad and they didn't make the proper trades. Now, their pass rush is so bad that they couldn't make the adjustment. I mean, that's just bad. Which is kind of crazy to me. I mean, you go back and you read some of these things, and it's, you know what it is? The Saints, pass block win rate, by the way, would mean the defensive lineman in pass rush, attacking to get to the quarterback. The pass rush for the Patriots is the worst in football by far. 43.6%, followed by the Jags, followed by the Saints. Do you think any of those teams were able to upgrade in that category? No. None of them upgraded in that category. None of them. And they paid the price for it. They did. So, you know what? That's just the way it is. I don't even know. What's more shocking, too, is that the Panthers didn't trade Brian Burns, which I don't even know why when he's ready to go and he's ready to leave. I don't understand it. But you know what? I can't explain what they decide. What they do is what they do. That's what you have to start chalking this up to be. Now, Joe Douglas is going to be speaking to the media shortly, so just 45 minutes ago. If you're a Jets fan, I would absolutely tune into that and see what he has to say. But again, I'm also going to include a couple other teams. Make some quick winners and losers here. Cowboys are losers for not getting involved in any type of way, knowing what your team is at right now. You definitely need the secondary help. You didn't even go and get that. Broncos not selling. Stupid. The Falcons, I mean, they really need to make too many moves this deadline. They're okay. Saints definitely need to make moves. Didn't make the moves. Now they're going to pay the price for it. Panthers, they suck. They could have sold pieces. They didn't do it. The Buccaneers not moving doesn't surprise me. It's not a Jason Light thing to do. But it would have been nice to see him make a couple moves of some kind. Maybe go to running back, and they couldn't do that. Another running back, I should say. Patriots not selling. Typical Bill. They're a loser. As for the other team, the other loser is the Patriots. If I could pick one more winner, though, of this entire list, I think it's got to be a team who really... You know what? I got it. Eagles. Eagles are a winner, and here's why. They didn't make a trade this deadline, right? They made it earlier before the deadline with Kevin Byard. Great. Well, the reason why they're winners by not making a trade at this specific deadline is because the Cowboys didn't make a trade. And the Giants got rid of one person. So they're accepting the fact that this is a lost season. And the Commanders just sold off their 2 pass rushers. So because of that alone, the Eagles should be very confident in the fact, knowing they have full control of that division. So this is a win for the Eagles. Big time. You now have the honest answer knowing that you are going to lose. That you're going to win this division outright and that you're not going to have any competition. You can sell me on whatever you want with the Cowboys, but in the end, those Cowboys are not winning the division. No. It's the Eagles' division to win. And lose too. It's theirs to lose. It's in their hands. They can't lose it. It's the truth. So in the end, Eagles are a winner. I said that. I think I said the Eagles are a winner. I'm crediting the Vikings with like a half win just because I don't know if it's a full win because we still don't know how good Dobbs will be. But getting Dobbs was a big win for them still regardless. Good trade. Jets get what they wanted, so they're technically a win. Jaguars bolster up their offensive line, so that's a win. Seattle gets what they needed to kind of upgrade a little bit on the defensive pressure, so that's great. So that's a win. The Packers sold, which I was kind of expecting. The Bears were a loser to me. We said the Cowboys were a loser. The Titans not doing anything. Anything. That's a loss. That is a loss in and of itself. But that's it. I mean, we went through all the teams for the most part. Yeah. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else I can really talk about. We talked about Harden making the trade to the Clippers. The winners and losers of this deadline. A preview of Game 4 for the World Series, which I already told you guys I think it's going to be the D-backs getting their revenge tonight and making it a 2-2 series because it's going to go 7. This will be a 7-game series no matter what. And trade deadline tracker. We went through the whole trade deadline the last hour and a half, covered what we could, and this is what we got. So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in for the show today. I am your host, Brian Mansell of The Brian Mansell Show. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another show, 11 a.m. Eastern, here on Twitch and YouTube. We'll do another sports talk, another coverage. Maybe we'll try to experiment with the call-in. You guys can call into the show, ask some questions, whatever you want to do. Treat it like that. And again, we'll probably have some good topics to talk about. But until then, enjoy NBA tonight. Knicks and Cavs, Spurs and Suns, and Orlando and the Clippers. The Magic and the Clippers. I don't think Harden plays tonight, but Orlando and the Clippers still do. You can also enjoy some hockey tonight. LA Kings, Toronto Maple Leafs on ESPN at 8 o'clock, or Nashville Predators and the Vancouver Canucks, 10 o'clock Eastern. That's on Bally Sports South, the local networks. And the MLB. Can't forget about that. Baseball. Game 4 of the World Series. Texas, Arizona, 8:03 Eastern on Fox. Texas leading the series 2-1. Once again, I'm Brian Mansell. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're here for the first time, checking out the channel, please consider subscribing on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching this on Twitch, please consider giving us a follow. We're 4 followers away from hitting our follower goal of 20 up there. And once we hit our 20 followers, it's going to help us hit on new horizons here on this channel and get more of an audience and make this even bigger. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Everything helps us. Thank you all so much. And we'll see you again tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. Have a good day, everybody. See you then.